Alrighty, we've had enough time to see all of the 2023 cars out on track for preseason testing and the first race at Bahrain. It's finally time to rank them on a tier list. I'm ranking this overall. So like, I like to rank the liveries on their design and how I feel about them. Sometimes you can let the influence of them being the same livery as last year or the same livery for years invade your mind. But for me, I'm just rating the designs and how I like them overall. All right, starting off though with Williams. When it got revealed, I was blown away. Now, obviously, it wasn't much change from last year, but what they did to make the livery wrap around the design of the car with the new side pod, with the engine cover, with the front nose, it looked fucking gorgeous, and I loved it a lot. I was praising a lot of my reaction when it first got released, but then we've now seen it out on track. The matte is so dull. Like, the light doesn't reflect off of it like it does in this picture here. The navy isn't as clean either. It's literally just a matte. I don't know if that's to save some weight. Maybe the matte paint is easier to do or lighter than the glossy paint. But yeah, for me, it didn't change much. It would have been an A tier if it looked like this, like it did in the picture. But solely because it looks so dull out on track, I'm gonna have to put it in C. All right, next up, we've got the AlphaTauri. Now, when this was first shown on the stream, I was disgusted, and I was sure that I was going to put it in D. I hated everything about it. The design on the side with the AlphaTauri logo, the red, the color palette, just everything. I hated it. It was disgusting to me. But now that I've seen it out on track, I actually really like it. I'm so surprised, like really, really, really surprised. Now, for me, it's still gonna go on B. I don't think it's that great of a livery. But again, if you go watch my reaction to the AlphaTauri, the fact that I'm putting it, in B and above the Williams is crazy to me. But it just goes to show, this is why you wait to do your livery tier list after you see the cars on track, because they look completely different. Honestly, from the front as well, it's so clean. It does look a bit like a Haas, but still, very, very clean livery. Next up, we've got Haas. Now, when this first got revealed, remember Haas's reveal was crap, it was just a picture. I didn't mind it. I think because Haas was moving in a direction I liked, it made me happy to see. And at the time, I quite liked the livery. Now that I've seen it out on track, the black is super plain from the side. Front on is super nice. I really like the car front on. The off-white. The off-white is super clean. The red, it's a really, really nice design. But at the end of the day, seeing the car from the side or angled or from the top down, it's really, really plain. And at the end of the day, that's because Haas has no sponsors. The MoneyGram logo doesn't really work well up there. The Haas logo is quite plain down here. Again, props to Haas for moving back to their roots, going with the white, red, and black feel. But yeah, I'm just left kind of like about it. It's a bit plain. So I'm going to put it in C. And below the Williams. Even though the Williams is also a bit plain out on track, the matte color, I still think it has a bit more of a interesting design. Next up, Aston Martin. What a gorgeous livery. Now, last year I rated this S, and I even put it as my best livery of last year. As the year went on, it kind of grew a little bit bland to me. Once you see it out on track, it kind of like loses that, you don't get to see this perfect lighting. But this year, it got revealed. I felt that same sense of enjoyment again with the light reflecting off of the lime or of the British racing green. But they improved a lot of things on this livery. Getting rid of that lime green Aston Martin logo and making it white, love it. The black being incorporated, really, really like it. The green on the wheel covers, really, really like it. I put Aston Martin an S last year. I'm going to put an S again. It's a fucking top tier livery. But it is one of those liveries that, as the year goes on, you grow a bit old of it. All right, next up, we've got Alfa Romeo. Now, when this car first got shown, everyone was hyped about it. But I was left thinking like, I don't know. I feel like the matte black going into the ruby red was just very weird to me. And personally, I think the white on the livery just gave it felt more like Alfa Romeo. It gave it a better feel. I think this year, every team going more the black route, the darker route, it kind of just, it doesn't stick out anymore. Front on this livery is top tier. The way the sponsors are incorporated and the black incorporated into the red, it's so nice. But from the side, I said this last year, the cut is just very weird. And I don't know, the difference in you know, gloss to matte. I just don't know how I feel. And the stake logo on the rear wing is really, really ugly as well. I still think it's a great livery. I am going to put it an A. Last year I put it an S. I love the white. All right, next up, we've got McLaren. Now, when this first got announced, I was happy. I was happy that they moved the design in a better direction. In my opinion, it looked cleaner. But now I've seen it out on track. It doesn't look as clean. In comparison to the start of last year, it looks better. But when you look at the end of last year, they brought some of the orange back, and I don't know, it just looked better. The chrome, there's so much wrong with this livery. First off, how messy all the logos are. Like, I would hate to have to sponsor McLaren and have all these logos just kind of meshed together. The Velo logo is still hands down one of the ugliest looking logos in Formula 1. The chrome logo makes the livery looks so messy. McLaren's known to be an orange team, yet there's not as much orange as there should be. Yeah, for me, I'm gonna have to put it in C. I think from a standout point of view, with it being bright orange and the nice blue, I do like it more than the plain Williams and Haas. But yeah, it's just so messy. It's definitely the messiest car on the grid. So, the Alpine, very similar to last year, but I think it's a step in the right direction. I really like the triangular design. I was a bit concerned at first that it's like too small to be able to see, but now seeing this car on track, it was one of those cars that it didn't like blow me away out on track, but there was many times where I looked at it and I was like, wow, that's nice, because we've got so many dark liveries on the grid. Yes, they have got more black on the car this year, but it stands out. I love the bright blue. I feel like the pink BWT is incorporated better on the side pod this year than previous years. The BWT on the rear wing looks quite nice. Yeah, I think I rated this the worst livery last year, but I've really changed my mind. I think they didn't really, I don't know. I don't think much has changed. I think they just tidied up a few things and my perception on the car has changed. I love the pink on the wheel cover as well. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. So I am going to chuck it in B alongside the AlphaTauri. So there's the pink Alpine livery. This might be an over-exaggeration, but I really don't like this livery. It stands out too much that it's ugly. I know you guys like the pink, but for me, yeah, for me, I don't like it, and it's actually the worst livery, to be honest. I prefer the Haas. All right, one of the most changed liveries of 2023, Mercedes back to black. Now, I gotta get it out of the way straight away. I love the silver Mercedes. Mercedes is silver. They're known as the silver arrows in Formula 1, and that is why they should be silver. But putting that aside, I like the livery. When it first got released, I was a big hater on this livery. Oh, not a hater. It took me a while to kind of accept that it was black again. And I also couldn't accept this line of carbon. I hate this. I hate how the top half is glossy merc color and the bottom half is carbon. But seeing it out on track, I love it. It's gorgeous. At the end of the day, though, it is just a plain black livery with a lot of carbon on it. The logos aren't incorporated that nicely. I still think that the Mercedes need to be silver, but putting that aside, I'm going to put it an A, and I am going to put it below the Alfa Romeo, though. I still love the Alfa Romeo design. Second last, we have got the Ferrari. What a gorgeous livery. At first, I didn't know how I felt about this carbon on the side, but out on track, it's super fucking hot. When we saw it drive round at the track, on the launch day, it's so clean. It's so clean. But at the end of the day, it's not much of a difference from last year. But I rated it S last year, and I'm gonna rate it S again this year. Now, last year I rated it below the Aston Martin, but after seeing both cars out on track for a full year, they're quite similar. I need to put the Ferrari above the Aston Martin. Last, but definitely not least, the 2023 Red Bull. Now, I was at the season launch in New York, and I remember walking to the venue 40 minutes before the reveal and seeing the car and going, is that the 2022 car or the 2023? And I noticed the rocket livery, the rocket logo and this red design, and thought, wait, that's the 2023 design. So I was a bit in shock that they literally have got the exact same liveries last year, bar like 2 changes. However, the Red Bull is the best, in my opinion, the best looking livery on the grid. No bias, no bias. No, I've always said this, even before joining Red Bull. I've always loved the Red Bull livery. It's just, the Red Bull logo is one of my favorite in the world. The bright yellow with the Red Bull on top of it, the navy blue. It's so, when you look at it, you get everything you should from a livery. You know exactly what it is. You know it's Red Bull. And it's so dominant. It feels like Red Bull. The way the balls are incorporated on the front wing, it's lovely. It's lovely. But like I said, it was the exact same as last year. See it on track. It's so dominant. I love it so much. Now, it's a top tier livery. Now, if I said I wasn't going to rank liveries off of like freshness, but like obviously we've seen this livery for like the 7th year now. I am going to put above Aston Martin though. That is going to wrap up my 2023 livery tier list. We've got 3 absolute bangers in S tier again. Some of my favorite liveries, obviously not just this year, but in all of Formula 1. Alfa Romeo went backwards this year, but it's not terrible. The Merc, I still think needs to be silver, but has a dominant look. Alpine stepped it up this year. It has moved up in my mind this year. The AlphaTauri doesn't look bad out on track. And then these liveries here, they just need I don't know. The McLaren needs to be less messy, and the Williams and the Haas need to be less dull. They need to bring a bit more of I don't know, they need to work out, Williams need to work out their paint, their finishes, because matte look on the Williams looks so ugly. And the Haas out on track doesn't look as dominant as it looked in the renders. And yeah, I'm sorry, special pink livery, not for me, not for me.
You got that something, baby, that I can go without, just like a poison.